As the clock strikes 7, the vibes alive. Inner circles here where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. In a circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. So join the conversation, let's set the tone. In a circle podcast where love is well known.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another powerful edition of the Inner Circle podcast. Today is Thursday, November 6th. I'm your host, Abe Kamara, and tonight I have a special guest in studio. And our topic tonight is the power of local leadership shaping the future of Broken Park. And I have Miss Bernice Cooper, who has put in her hat in the political ring to run for City Council of Broken Park, the capital city of Liberians in America, Broken Park. So that's very inspiring to see that, she wants to represent, the motherland. So welcome to the show. Folks, before I get to Bernice here, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Ms. Bernice Cooper, man, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am excited to be here. You're my first interview, so I'm hoping I can get some grace. I'm glad you started with being informal, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited for that.
that's good. That's good. Well, as I said, right, before we could go live, I'm no Larry King, I'm no Anderson Cooper or Wolf Blazer or all these great guys out there, and things like that. But man, thanks for joining us. But first of all, tell us a little bit about your story. Who is Bernice Cooper beyond the campaign trail?
Yeah, Bernice Cooper is a young, vibrant Liberian. Obviously, I am originally from Liberia. Grew up in St. Paul, moved to Brooklyn Park when I fell in love, and I'm here raising my family in Brooklyn Park. I'm a wife, a mother, a social worker, a clinical social worker, an advocate, um, and there's so much more. And I'm just wanting to do more than what I'm currently doing and put that on the next level of politics and be the voice for everyone in the Brooklyn Park community.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, folks, maybe you have a question for Bernice tonight, you can put in the chat or call our number 952-594-5154. First of all, is that okay, you say you used to be a resident of St. Paul. I mean, why did you leave St. Paul? Right? It's a dead city though, anyway. That's all. But anyway, that's,
Well,
that's that's besides the point. Yeah. Why did you leave St. Paul and
you heard
move
the
to
song, you would do anything for love, right? Love brought me
okay?
to Brooklyn Park, and I'm glad I found the right love. And because Brooklyn Park is it's so rich and
Mm,
so beautiful, and bringing me here was the best thing that ever happened. I didn't when you grew up in St. Paul, the Liberians in St. Paul just kind of feel a different way in general about different things, right? Coming to Brooklyn Park was a huge process for me. And I'm like, but why did I waste so much time? Why didn't I move? A lot of my friends were moving. I didn't understand it. Then I got here. I'm like, this is really where I belong. So love brought me here, and love is keeping me here.
just tell the people to know that Simple is boring. You guys, those that live in Simple is a boring place. By the way, that's it.
Simple
That's a
has a
topic
special
for
place in my heart too.
no worries. But what experiences or turning points in your life shape your passion for community and leadership, right? Because what you're doing here is about leadership, it's about serving your community. And as I started the show, man, it's a broken park. Is dear to every Liberian heart. It's a capital city of Liberians in the diaspora. So what experiences or turning points in your life that shape your passion for community and leadership?
You know, I'm glad it's happening in Brooklyn Park.
Mm,
I've done a lot of different things throughout my career. As I stated when I started, I am a social worker, so I've done a lot of things with different populations and served in so many different ways within my field.
okay.
Um, I do have my master's in social work. I grew up here, so I came here when I was 12 years old. I came
Mm,
to Minnesota. Minnesota basically raised me.
okay.
I didn't know where I was coming. I came with my family and they accepted me and they educated me. And now I'm giving back to a state that really, really does a lot for immigrant families. And as I said, I couldn't have done that anywhere else but Minnesota and specifically Brooklyn Park.
Mm,
So as a career, I've done different things. As I stated, I've done medical social work, child protection. I've worked in the jail with youth. I've worked in nursing home as a geriatric social worker, and now I'm with the police department. What really brought me to this point of exploring politics,
hmm.
honestly, is when George Floyd happened. When George
Okay.
Floyd happened, things abruptly changed, and all I did was went to work and came home, went to work and came home, and we were asked to be home full time. We're working from home, but I realized that wasn't it for me. I wanted to do more. I wanted to be more. I saw that Minnesota was going through a lot. And I saw the tension between the community and law enforcement. And I
Mm,
literally took a pay cut from child protection to step down in this role of being a liaison between the community and law enforcement. When I
okay.
stepped in that role, Brooklyn Park, a huge percentage of Brooklyn Park 911 calls come from congregate settings, the nursing home, the group home, the different
Mm,
type of assistant living, and all of those things. A lot of the responses, 911 responses, come from there. So I was in a position, not directly in Brooklyn Park, but everywhere in Hennepin County, but Brooklyn Park. But
okay.
Brooklyn Park staff also had access to me as a liaison to consult with me if they have questions, just because I've been in different roles when it comes to congregate work. I've done waiver case management as well. So I'm well versed and familiar with that. So I came down and started to do a lot of work with law enforcement and the community. And as I started to do that, I discovered CMAP, which is the Police Chief Multicultural Team. I joined
Hmm.
that and started to kind of educate my community about that relationship. In Liberia, when it comes to police officer and citizen, we don't really gel like that. So at
Mm,
here, that relationship too, it seemed to be like similar. But as I learned and saw that these are everyday people like us,
mm,
yeah, they may not
yeah.
have all of the answers because their role is to really work with criminals and deal with not work with criminals, but like deal with criminal activities or keep the place safe.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might encounter people that are experiencing mental health, which lead to some of these things, and kind of deciphering between those two can be difficult, especially if that's not your area of expertise.
Hmm.
So this line between law enforcement and social work has been a great eye opener for me. And it has also helped me to be in the community more. We've done a lot of different work with youth. We've done a
Okay.
lot of different things with immigration. Recently, we had probably about 7 or so months ago, we had our immigration clinic, which was free to the community, and we're able to assist people with replacement green card. We're able to assist people with citizenship paperwork, all of that for free. We have volunteer
Okay.
attorneys right on the spot. And I've also had the opportunity to work with candidates. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with me, but we did the Go Back campaign and we
Mm,
supported other candidates in the community. So it's been this transition of who politics me. So, oh
Mm.
yes, me.
Yeah.
I have the skill set. I have the experiences.
Yeah.
I've worked with different people. Why not move this on a level that will have direct impact in the community that I'm going to raise my children, in
Sure.
a community that I'm paying taxes, in a community that has a lot of, I know you're saying Liberians, moreover outside of Liberia, right? That, but mainly just to support all people, which I'm already doing in my role. I've done in so
Sure.
many different roles. So
Yeah.
this is just going to be on a different level of direct impact, collaboration, learning,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, working alongside people. That's what we're doing, social work.
Sure.
So this is nothing new to me. It's
Yeah.
just a title that's being attached to it. This is the work that I've been doing. I continue to do. So I want to be more impactful. I want to be that advocate for folks
Sure.
in the community, the
Okay.
changes in our community. So yeah,
Okay. I mean, for the sake of our audience, where in Broken Park are you running at? And what are you running for, right? Just to educate our audience.
I am running for city council, and it's going to be in the West District.
West District. Okay, West
Yeah.
District. Okay. Man, when you look back, who were some of the mentors or role models who helped shape your leadership style?
I have so many mentors. I'm a professional person that believes in mentorship. I
Mm.
always want to learn, and that can be mentorship from even kids.
Yeah.
Learning how to communicate with them, learning how to do things differently. I grew up in Liberia,
Hmm.
and well, partially because I came when I was like 12.
Yeah.
Some of the way we deal with things and approach things in life is different versus here. I've always been open-minded, always been willing to learn, and those are
Hmm.
really good skills to bring, right? I
Yeah.
believe that kids can really teach you some
Hmm.
things about leadership, a lot of things about leadership. They're the most honest group of people. Um, but I don't know if you're familiar with Miss Binta. She's one of my mentors. I've had
Yes.
supervisors,
Okay.
and one of the person who really spotted this in me and that said you should really run
Yeah.
is Nehemiah Garley. He's someone that we have a nonprofit
Sure.
together, Rise Beyond Hate, and he said you should really run. I'm like, who, me? I- but you have to have people around you that see things in you that you don't always see in
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And he saw that in me. I didn't see it in me right away, but I knew that I wanted to do more in leadership, even in my role here at Hennepin County.
Yeah.
I've always thrived to. I've done classes to do leadership and all these different things, but on the political level, I'll have to give that up to him because he really so that I could be doing more with the skills that you know, that he saw in me.
For folks that don't know Broken Park, right? How will you describe Broken Park to outsiders?
Oh my God, Brooklyn Park is vibrant. Brooklyn Park is the most diverse, you know, places that I've really encountered. The food. Um, I'm not an everyday cooker. Let's just put this thing on the table, okay?
So you go to the
But
cover shop. So you go to the cover.
yes,
You
the
go to the cover.
garages, yes. Like if you don't want to cook for like a whole month and just eat other people garages and other people homes, and I have a lot of friends who cook and sell food, and I just support all of these, like small businesses
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and things
mm-hmm.
like that. So I love that about Brooklyn Park. And then you have the options of, if you want to do formal, if you want to do informal, if you want to eat Mexican today, you don't want to eat, it's just that diversity. Also the vibe here, obviously I'm a young woman. The vibe here, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
You can decide which spaces you want to be in and how you want to peruse life in Brooklyn Park.
Yeah.
Your comfort zone of people you want to be around, and what does that mean for you in terms of how you want to grow. You get to decide that for yourself. I love the young people in Brooklyn Park just because they're doing things.
Mm-hmm.
They're growing, they're educating themselves. They just want different and more, and that's very encouraging. The resources in Brooklyn Park, there are many. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
resource person. You tell me something, I'm writing it down, I'm sending it to 10 different people to say, hey, this service is available, check it out. you
Yeah.
know um their housing. Housing is an issue everywhere for Minnesota, Brooklyn Park. Prioritizing that.
Yeah.
There's so many good things about Brooklyn Park that I think we should really take advantage of, and we don't
Mm.
always. The parks. I'm
Mm.
also the social worker for Three Rivers Park,
Oh,
and
okay.
the parks. There's so many great parks out here that we're not taking advantage of. I love the parks. Um, just so many good things. The
Yeah.
services, sports. So
Mhm.
you name it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to make out of Brooklyn Park, you can.
Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're so passionate about Broken Park. Well, folks, tonight we are talking about the power of local leadership shaping the future of Broken Park. Miss Bernice Cooper is running to become a city council member in the West District in Broken Park next year, 2026 election. And we have on here tonight. Well, first of all, right, a lot of immigrants don't venture into politics, right? Especially, I mean, Liberians in Broken Park. There, when you think about the only person I've ever tried that is, Winfrey Russell. Now, I think you're the second Liberian to venture into there. What, what really, is it? And then, I mean, besides Winfrey Russell, I said no Liberian has ever tried that. Why this time Bernice Cooper? And what lesson have you learned from maybe the experiences of like folks like Winfrey Russell? Or why do you think, right, immigrants don't really venture, especially Liberians, they don't venture into politics in America? In America, right, when it comes to Liberia, they are so into Liberian politics, but in America, they don't.
I know. I have to give it up to Russell for, seeking representation for the
Hmm.
community, and he's done a great job, trying to get that for us. I know he won before, and he was in this seat that I'm running for, and had the
Okay.
opportunity to meet with him. And I just want to give it up to him because to an extent he really paved the way and empower people to step up. And
Hmm.
I'm glad I'm one of those people that are stepping up. And Russell, thank you for that. Um, but what empowered me to want to join politics in the US? When you work in the field that I've worked in, and
Hmm.
I remember graduating and said, "Oh, I can't stand politics." But I was so immature at that time and didn't quite understand how politics impact social work.
Mm.
When you have more, I've been in this field for over a decade. When you
Yeah.
have that much of an understanding of how policy
Hmm.
impacts funding and how funding impacts social work, you
Hmm.
start to think differently. You start to look at things differently. This is sometimes where experience comes some of those understanding.
Yeah.
And I know I've complained a lot about why can't my client just get this? Why are restrictions on certain things? And then Exhibit A, we are in the shutdown, right? The
Yeah.
government
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
shut down.
Hmm.
And right here we're kind of like scrambling to make sure our clients are safe, to make sure you know people who are in important roles continue to serve in those roles, because people are depending on the work that we do to support them. We don't have the luxury of saying I can't go to work today because lives are dependent on us.
Mm.
So when I mm, when you think of that and have those experiences and shift your thought process and understand that now I have a different calling,
Yeah.
and that calling is you know on a city council level. That
Mm.
calling is making direct impact in my community. I'm done with being practical. I understand how policy impact practice, you know, but I want to be able to do that differently now, in the reverse. I want to be able to be that one that hear what the community wants, advocate for it, and implement it, or be a part of facilitating implementing it. And that's really where the change is.
How,
That
yeah. Yeah. How do you plan to approach your campaign, right? Because I say a lot of immigrants are especially Liberians are disengaged from politics. How do you plan to bring Liberians or even like, folks of the West District, how do you plan to bring them, in your fold, right, in your corner, for them to vote for Bernice Cooper come 2026 for the West District?
You want me to get all my little thing out there so other people can
No, no,
hear it?
no, 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 no. Yes. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you should
No,
give
no,
them a
I'm
big
just
candidate.
kidding.
Yeah. Mm.
No, honestly, I'm planning to be as diverse as possible, because we have to understand I am not going to be just a Liberian councilwoman, right? I'm
Mm-hmm,
going
mm-hmm.
to be a Brooklyn Park West District City Councilwoman.
Okay.
And what that means is I have to prepare to understand different cultures, to learn from different cultures. So I
Mm-hmm,
really plan and intend to be diverse. I intend to really have a youthful campaign. I've already done a lot of work with youth and educating them
mm-hmm,
on what is some of the questions. What is Democrat, what is Republican, the younger ones learning those things.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I plan to bring them back on to be a part of this process. We saw what just happened in New York,
Yeah.
and that's really what hope is. So I
Mm,
want the younger generation to see this. I know I'm not any young chicken or anything, I'm hitting 40, but I want that 40 and below population to be a part of this process, to
mm,
understand what that means for us, for
mm,
them, for the community. So I do currently have a team of that consists of African American, that consists of Liberians, that consists of Caucasian, and I would love to get some Asians on my team, and I want this to be a fun process. I
yeah.
want this to be a learning process. I love my people, and we're going to have culturally specific teams as well, because
Okay.
sometimes education will look different, and civic engagement will look different from culture to culture, and we want to adhere to that, and encourage people to come based on how what approaches we find to work,
Mm,
using some of those people from this community to help guide us, in what that will look like culturally.
okay. What does public service mean to you personally?
Public service really mean advocacy, means bringing the voice of the people, mean being a servant.
Mm,
Um, you are my boss. Brooklyn Park residents, you all are my boss, and I work for you. I want you to utilize me. I want you to bring those concerns. I want us to figure it out together. I want us to work alongside each other. If the park is not safe for the kids anymore, let's talk about that. Is it a safety due to whatever issue, or is it due to structure? Whatever it is, bring it to the table so that I can be that voice as I hear your concern, transfer it. um Public service me being humble, learning, being open to learning,
okay.
um, being teachable, because the community are the ones that are going to teach you on what they're experiencing. You're only an individual,
Yeah.
so you're relying on that and prioritizing that the
Okay.
people, um, and that it's not about me. I want to learn from you. I'm just a vessel in the position. So, humbly, please, I want to be of servant to you.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
it's a
folks,
collaboration.
definitely, definitely, definitely. Folks, tonight we are discussing the power of local leadership shaping the future of Broken Park. And Ms. Denise Cooper is contesting 2026 for the West District to become a city council member for the city. As I said, Broken Park is the capital city of Liberians in the diaspora, not only in America, but everywhere. When so you say Broken Park, oh, the Liberian capital. Well, anyways, there was just an election here, this gone Tuesday, November 4th, right? And the election was historic in many ways for immigrants and minority communities across the country. You mentioned Zora Mandani in New York, the monk lady in St. Paul. What stood out to you most about the election cycle, about this election cycle?
The movement, there's something shifting here, and
Mm,
it's shifting. The shift that I'm seeing is the younger people, women are taking on, politics a lot more, and people are stepping out of their comfort zone.
mm,
Politics have always had the face of a certain population
mm-hmm.
or age, if you will.
Okay.
It has its own ageism going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that is changing, and that's what's empowering for me.
Okay.
That's what's giving me hope, to
Mm-hmm.
see that young women, young people, the youth
Mm-hmm.
are stepping up and leading the way and saying we want different. You
Okay.
know, watching some of the videos in New York, just it was the most beautiful and humbling thing to watch. You know, hearing them singing from New York. We got to
Yeah.
make our own Brooklyn Park theme song, right?
Yeah.
So that's what really driving my passion. The the
Mm.
the scene is changing, and
Yeah.
it's changing rapidly, and younger people are saying we want different, and they're working towards wanting different. I
Yeah.
happen to be a part of a campaign in the Uptown area, and I saw how younger people came together. I felt so old. Usually I'm in a room and I'm the youngest of a lot of people, but then I saw the 21-year olds, and they're
Mm.
saying, "Yeah, I'm 19, I'm this." I'm like, "What?" And it was just beautiful to hear. It was just empowering to hear. So I like that about this going election.
I mean, it's like I'm glad you brought up New York. I mean, just to stay on that a little bit. I mean, it's like they said what according to the pundits, or some of the news stuff that's coming out there. So it was social media that really, powered his campaign. How do you, as a candidate in this day and age, right? You're talking about young people a lot. How do you plan to leverage social media, to get you over the top come November of 2026?
The young people, they're the one that know how to do TikTok. I had a TikTok account. I don't know how to use it that good. So we have a young. I mean, last year you saw how Brooklyn Center turned out. Young people ran that for July 20, Liberian Independence Day. July 26th. So I intend to tap into some of that. I'm not the most tech savvy person, so why not utilize the support around you? And I happen to have a lot of young folks around me, the
Mm,
younger generation, and they know how to make really good TikTok videos. They know how to do all these different fancy things. And I'm gonna have a communication team that's very youthful.
okay, okay. I mean, it's like sticking to the November election, they're going Tuesday. Did any specific wins or outcome from this past Tuesday election motivate or validate your own political journey?
St. Paul is a touchy subject, but I don't know what's going on in Minneapolis. We try to stay away, as much as possible. But my homegirl up there ran for Ward 10. But
Hmm.
St. Paul is a touchy subject. But it was also beautiful to see that a woman,
Mm,
won the mayor race in St. Paul. Shout out to St. Paul, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
It was beautiful to watch.
Mm,
So that was empowering in itself. Um, as I stated, the New York thing was, it was empowering.
yeah,
Um, Minneapolis,
yeah.
Minneapolis had a lot of really good the diversity there in
Mm-hmm,
terms
mm-hmm,
of the new councils. It
mm-hmm,
was nice to see.
mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, all of those, and there are a lot of them are young people. And
Mm-hmm.
I love my geriatric people because I will ride for them really,
Yeah.
really hard when it comes to things. I love the youth. I love all population. I've had the opportunity to work with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing that's happening now, where the transition that's going on in politics, I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
Okay. What lesson then you think Broken Park can draw, right? Broken Park or Broken Park resident can draw from the broader election result, like as everyone look ahead to 2026, because the election, I say America almost every year's election, right? Now everyone look forward to 2026. What lesson do you think Broken Park residents, can draw from this going November 4th?
I think we can continue to keep the young people activated. We can continue
Mm,
to keep them in power so that they can continue to have this interest and maintain this momentum,
yeah.
and just maintain that interest to vote for people and things and situations that are important to them.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, I haven't been in politics so long to kind of see that trend of young people, and that's information I'm going to be researching a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing that younger people are excited about
Mm-hmm.
about this space,
Mm-hmm.
and the campaign that I was assisting and supporting in Uptown, the campaign manager he's a 32-year-old young man,
Mm.
and he is, I mean, the passion, if every chance you get to stand next to him, he's like being strategic and talking,
Yeah.
it's different.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
have to just continue to do a lot of civic engagement to
Mm.
maintain that, and use those same young people to educate their peers,
Yeah.
to get that light and that thing in them going, and keep them activated. So yes, you can teach one to teach the next, and it's better when it comes from their peers, and they can see that people like them, their ages are interested, and hopefully that will build more interest and go from there.
How do you see immigrant voices, right? Immigrant. I mean, here in Osaka podcast, we are very, very, very intentional about promoting immigrants. I mean, we're like want to amplify, empower, and elevate folks like you. Well, how do you think, like, how do you see immigrant voices shaping the political landscape in cities like Brooklyn Park moving forward?
I think a lot of folks are stepping up. Um, we would love to see support from the community as we step up. I always say passion alone cannot put anyone in the seat or get you elected.
Mm-hmm.
The community has to eventually make that decision. But what I would love to see from my community is, the financial support, the door knocking. Door knocking is one of the most difficult things that one can do, and a lot of times we need support surrounding that. Um, and I would love to see the immigrant community come out to vote
Mm-hmm.
early.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us depend on single income, and I want to be very sensitive to that. Some of us are single parents, some are married and have. So yes, by all means, we want you to go to work, to maintain what you have. But if you have the opportunity to vote early, to participate in caucus, right now caucus is February 3rd. We're looking for residents from the West District, Brooklyn Park, to be a part of caucus. That's where the real work starts, not on election day. So we're looking for our community to step up with us. We say, why aren't we winning? Because we're not coming together to be able to get the endorsement.
Okay.
And that's an important process that we're encouraging the community to be a part of. We'll
Yeah.
continue to reach out to them to ask for their support that way. But that's really where it starts. So I
Okay.
know I've been putting my link out there for donation. I don't know if that's something that you can do tonight,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
encouraging
Definitely. Definitely.
everyone to,
Yeah.
if it's even 10, 20,
Yeah.
25 is better than nothing. We will take that so we
Yeah.
can have an organized, professional, campaign here.
Okay. Well, I mean, two things to that. Right? First of all, when you mentioned caucus, are you running on a political party ticket? And which political party?
Well, so the local elections are nonpartisan, but I will
Okay.
be going for the DFA endorsement. Yes.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. And then, like, can you say more about the caucus, right? You want folks from the community to be part of the caucus. How does the process work? How can someone, be part of the caucus process?
So basically, on February, we will start to engage with the community.
Mm-hmm.
February 3rd, that we will they will be releasing where Kaka's gonna be happening soon.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of not sure exactly where here. There's a couple things that have been discussed or that we've been hearing, but basically on February 3rd, we'll love a group of people from different areas within precincts within the district,
Mm-hmm.
to would love to kind of fill up that place as much as possible. Two, three, 400 people. So
Mm-hmm.
come out wherever you are in Brooklyn Park. Come out, and they will sign up to go to convention. During the convention is where they're going to vote on who. So they will get selected. They will say,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." So to explain this in the most simplest way possible, when you go to caucus, you're just putting your name out there and say, "Oh, I want to be a delegate," so that when convention comes, I can be one of the people who decide who the party is going to endorse.
Okay. Got
So
it.
on February 3rd, you go there and you participate in the process. And if you're picked to be a delegate, Then during the convention, which is a whole different date, you
Yeah.
will go there and you will vote on, you know, who the party is going to support. And
Okay.
they will be doing that on all levels, city council, mayor, and all of those things. So we're asking that more people, and the more people that we can take to support us, and you know when it comes to convention, we'll have a higher chance of
Mm-hmm.
getting voted in. And this is the maybe the social work way of explaining it,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
of
yeah.
the party,
That's yeah,
of
that's
the
fine.
of the party endorsing you.
Yeah,
So
that's
when we
yeah,
reach
yeah,
out to you, please don't ignore our text. Please respond. We'll come knocking your doors. We want you guys to be out. I know he's asking specifically about immigrant communities. So this is just an answer for that. But obviously, we want everyone. We want
yeah,
everyone to be a part of this process. As I said, I'm a Brooklyn Park City Council woman, so we want everyone to be a part of this process.
yeah. Like if you think about the what district, right? How many candidates have declared to contest in 2026, specifically for the what district? Do you know? Or
Well, we have an incumbent, but I know there's a gentleman, a Hispanic gentleman by the name of Jorge, that's interested in running as well. I know I met with him. I asked him for a meeting. He and I met, and we just kind of introduced ourselves, and let him know that I'm running, or
okay,
interested in running. And I promise him that is, at least for my side of things, I plan on being very positive and professional as much as I can.
sure,
And hopefully he did say that that was he has similar thoughts too. So at
yeah,
least we both agree on that. He seemed to be a very pleasant guy, and so far
sure.
that's what I know. I don't know if the incumbent is going to be running again,
Okay.
um, but uh, I'm going to assume that for now until I officially hear otherwise.
Okay. Well, in our community, right, when folks hear, oh, Bernice, man, I get it, or that woman there, she's so proud, she don't come to people. Let me stick to our people here a little bit, right? It's like if they heard about Bernice, if a Liberian heard about Bernice, what's the first thing you think that will come to mind to them?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm someone that if I meet you, I throw myself out there, socially.
So what will your
And
friends say? Okay, let me familiar. What will your friends say about Bernice Cooper? Right? If I ask one of your friends right now, I say, "Hey, Bernice, I live in the West District. Bernice Cooper won my vote." What would they say?
Bernice Cooper, oh, you should vote for her. They would definitely want you to vote for me, and they would know that I've always had passion for this work. So it's nothing new. Oh, that's nothing new. It was just a matter of time.
But why?
Um,
But why?
huh?
But why? Why should I vote for her? I'm a Liberian. I live in the West District. Why should I vote for Bernice Cooper?
Because she has done this work in her community too. And she's someone that will be a voice to all of us. And she will bring the concerns to the table. And one of
But you know our people do. They will say, Bernice don't come around. You invite her to party, she don't come. You say, oh, come to this, she
they
don't
can't
come.
then they don't know me. Then if
Oh, okay,
anyone
okay,
said we invite Bernice and Bernice didn't come, then they don't
okay.
really know Bernice, because those
Got it.
who know Bernice will say Bernice loves to socialize. I mean those
Okay.
garages, you know,
Oh, okay.
I'm at those
Okay.
co shops. So
Okay.
unless I don't know about your area, but
Mm.
I'm out here. I'm out here as much as possible. Yes, please invite me to things. I will come. I'm not just coming because I'm running. I'm coming
Okay.
to have a good time,
Hmm.
and you can always count on Bernice for a good time. Um, and
Okay.
and that's that.
Okay. Broken Park is one of the most diversity in Minnesota. How do you plan to ensure that diversity translates into unity and shared progress?
This is a work that I've been doing, and I love that question, because oftentimes people want to say she's an immigrant, so she's running for the Liberian, or she's no. I've done this work where I've worked with all people. I
Mm.
think once you have a goal, or the community has a goal, and the focus is on that goal, your work would be to how can you do different things to bring different communities to the table. What works for Paul might not work for Peter, and that's why with my own team, I spoke
Mhm.
about culturally specific, creating culturally specific teams so that
Mhm.
we can come up with strategies that will work for different communities. What might work for the Liberian community may not work for other communities. What might work for other communities may not work for the Liberian community. So we just got to understand that and shift according to what that will look like.
Okay.
And that's what I've done in social work in terms of my interventions. Not all interventions fit everyone. How do you
Mhm.
adjust that based on what the need is? Or how do you incorporate a client's voice in terms of that intervention in determining what will work for that client? Because it is their life. You're just someone providing that service. And I plan to bring that mentality to politics.
Okay. I've asked every politician, that we have had on this platform, right, in these current movements, whether Caucasian or whoever they are. I says like, in a movement where, it seems that there's so much division in politics, politicians don't seem to agree on anything. And then even as an immigrant, right, when you look at the current environment, right, there's a immigration crackdown going on. There's that negative energy or negative stuff towards immigrants. Why, in these moments where you thought to yourself, it's the right time to enter politics.
Because it is. My slogan is now is the time. Because
Mm,
it's really the time to enter politics. It's really the time to advocate for people. It's really the time to get your feet work in this business, right? Because if you don't, someone's going to make that decision for you. Someone's going to
mm,
make that decision for your community. And guess what? You're leaving your community voiceless. It's not going to be easy. It hasn't been easy. You know, if who so folks that have worked with me, my good mentor Binta, if you're listening, hey Binta, Miss Barry, she was saying when Bernice walked in that office with her hat on, she's down to business.
yeah.
Being able to separate the two, business is business, personal is personal,
Mm,
and just kind of get down to the work. And when I'm working and I'm in any space, I try to bring my best self and my professional self.
sure.
And that now is really the time. And that's why I step up, because now is the time. And I hope a
Okay.
lot more people could, because the community need us.
Okay. Well, folks, tonight we are talking to the power of local. The topic tonight is power of local leadership shaping the future of Broken Park, and we are talking to Ms. Bernice Cooper. She's running for the West District City Council to become a City Council member of the City of Broken Park. Well, our number is 952-594-5154. If you want to contribute to the conversation tonight, you can call if you have any question or comment for Miss Bernice Cooper. You can call our number 952-594-5154. Man, it's like Broken Park. How long have you been a resident of Broken Park? I know you said you used to be in
About
St. Paul,
eight,
but
about 8 years.
about 80 years.
About
In that
eight
span of,
going
I
on
mean,
9.
in that span of time, how have you, how have you, how will you like say that the city have changed, or if it has even changed, right? In your for the last 8 years you have been in Broken Park, has it changed much? Has it been the same Broken Park, or
You know, I have to say I haven't. I don't know if there has been like a
mm-hmm.
change that I've noticed that's drastic. I'm
Okay.
sure it has changed
Mm-hmm.
in terms of, you know, in terms of services. Let's talk about service
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
city perspective.
sure.
As I stated, I am a police embedded social worker. One of the things that Brooklyn Borough is doing that I'm like over the top about, because I've been part of that process and I am part of that process, is
Mm-hmm.
that they're really investing in law enforcement. They're
Okay.
really investing in, that type of service, because they have the alternative response team, which
Mm,
my really good mentor was part of, filling in for that team. Basically what it is community paramedics and social worker responding to um non-crime related calls, and
okay.
basically mental health calls,
Okay.
um and supporting the community. They also have social work and law enforcement, the core response team, that's supporting the community responding to mental health calls as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
they have their traditional, you know, police officers. And one of the things that I really admire about them is that our chief Bruley is intentional about that
Mhm.
relationship with the community and law enforcement. I've seen him on different cultural platforms, just kind of um educating people,
Yeah.
validating people concerns, sharing how the city is, and that's part of why I joined his multicultural team, because that's what I want to see. That's the
Mhm.
type of change that I want to see. And he's so awesome, and I'm happy he's the chief of, for Brooklyn Park, and he's intentional about meeting with the communities, hearing the communities. So
Mhm.
that's that's a change within the last maybe 5 or so years
Okay.
that I've seen that I'm grateful for.
Okay. What are the top three priorities you focus on if elected city council member? What would be your top three priorities when you're elected?
Um, as I stated, safety, community policing. We
Mhm.
want to see more goals into the work that law enforcement is doing, the work that social workers are collaborating with, the work that Brooklyn Park is doing in the community, the police department is doing in the community. I also want to see more support for small businesses. I know right now with the shutdown, a lot of folks rely on food support,
Mhm.
and it's no longer, we don't have that now. And small businesses are not making the money they used to make. People are losing jobs because that's what small businesses rely on. So having some type of emergency plan for if situations like that arises, what would that look like? How can the city, support that? Some discussion um around that. And lastly, I want to see more affordable housing. I know a lot of folks, when I speak with folks in the West District, they're so concerned about affordability. And I always tell myself, I'm probably a paycheck or two away from being homeless. And I'm not wishing that on myself, but that's how hard it is right now for everyday people. What would that look like? I know the mayor is bringing a great, 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 great biotech program to Brooklyn Park. Hopefully with that can increase housing, that can help with taxes for folks, because obviously taxes are high. But those are the main things that that i'm that I'm those are my three main priorities. You are muted. You're still muted. We can't hear you. No, we can't hear you.
Okay, Bernice, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. I'm trying to connect them, so just wait. We have a caller on the line, and I have to. So let me fix my mic, and then so I can put the caller on. Okay.
Hmm. No, we can't hear you. No. No, we can't hear you.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
now I can hear you. Uh-oh.
Were you hearing the caller?
No.
Okay, okay. We're having technical difficulty. We had a caller on the line who's trying to contribute, but we're having technical difficulty trying to connect her. Um, hello.
And now I can hear her, but it's low. If you want to put your
Okay, yeah.
volume up a little bit.
Okay, okay,
Okay, now I can hear you.
okay. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. She can hear you. Yep.
Can you put your volume up?
Yeah. She. Go ahead. She can. Her volume is up and her volume is up. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead. Okay. Okay. Did you hear her? The question is, what is your vision for Broken Park in the next 4 years if you were elected? She has a small business in Broken Park. So, what is your vision for Broken Park in the next 4 years if you were elected? She lives in Broken Center, but she and her husband own a small business in Broken Park.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling, and we appreciate your contribution.
Thank you. That's a great question. That's a wonderful question, right? Because places like Brooklyn Park, and she says she lives in Brooklyn Center. A
Yeah.
place like Brooklyn Park benefits more when we have our small businesses that are local. Not
Mm,
and nothing against the Walmart and all those, big name stores. But when our small businesses in Brooklyn Park thrive, we thrive, and it's a ripple effect. So how do we support that? I would like to see more resources go into, as I stated earlier, we're in a shutdown. The support that small businesses are supposed to be getting through some of these programs, they're not getting it because folks are not getting full support. We will need an emergency plan. I would love to have an emergency plan for small businesses that will meet whatever that criteria is, to fall back on whatever funding or whatever it is to keep them afloat. Um, that's what I would like to see. Just because I'm seeing now how they're struggling, I'm seeing that now that there's no real pathway to, if 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 this shutdown continues the way it is right now, sooner or later we won't be able to see some of our small, oriental stores. We won't be able to just get in our car, drive 2 minutes, and go right down Z and Brooklyn Boulevard and see some of the stores that we enjoy. So how can we prioritize some of those things and to help keep them in business? So that would be a discussion that I would definitely want to bring to the table to support more small businesses in Brooklyn Park, to have some type of tax benefit for them, um but to keep them afloat.
yeah.
Yes, I want to go to my Target and my not Target, but I want to go to my Walmart. I want to go to my Walmart. Right now I'm not so sure about Target, but I want to go to my Walmart too. But I just know that cities function better in a city like Brooklyn Park, who is so diverse and really um has a lot of real small stores. Will work better when we invest in those small businesses. So I
Yeah.
would love to see more of that investment.
Just staying with that, right? First of all, I don't know what you have against my Target. Target is a local Minnesota company, so I don't know what you have against Target. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But just staying with the small business stuff, right? As I said, Broken Park has lots of small businesses, very diverse small businesses, and things like that. And most of them sometimes complain about because there's lack of representation on the city council, permitting, licensing. These things are so, difficult because no one understands them. So now they go apply for certain licenses or permits, because no one understands them, right? Is that it's hard, they are finding it difficult obtain licenses and permits. How do you plan to change that if you are elected to the city council?
I'll continue to encourage them to engage with their city council. I think that's part of the civic engagement work that needs to be done for people to see beyond, for businesses to see beyond just that service in that store.
Mm,
For them to understand that they too can come to city council, they too can come to their councilmen and women and share what their concerns are. They too can request a meeting, and that's the level of empowerment that I would like to see from when I'm when I get there. That's what I would like to see. Talk to these small businesses. I've started having conversations with some, and I hope to have more conversation with these small businesses to see what are they looking for. What would they like to see differently? What would they like to see happen? What are they doing now that's working? What's not working? So part of it too would be these businesses taking the initiative to be a part of this process, and being open-minded and maybe stepping out of their comfort zone. I know you mentioned a lot of these small cultural businesses. Sometimes when we think politics, and I was one of those people who didn't think that politics was had any direct relation with me at some point in my life, but I got educated and kind of continue to learn and be open. Now I'm here saying I want to represent you know the community. So I hope to provide some of that education,
mm.
resources to provide that education for the community so that they too can be an advocate for themselves and bring those concerns forward, you know. So
Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. Well, folks, tonight we are talking to Bernice Cooper, and we are discussing the power of local leadership shaping the future of Broken Park. You can contribute to the conversation by putting a comment in the chat or calling our number 952-594-5154. Sorry earlier about that technical difficulty, no technology. But Bernice, man, how do you stay grounded and connected to the people you hope to serve?
just continue to be in the community. That's where the work is. You got to be in the community. You got to attend things, be out there, be forceful, step out of your comfort zone. For the first time I went to the Nigerian Independent. It was a beautiful thing. I've always loved that culture. So I'm doing things to learn, to educate myself so I can continue to come back to these communities that are going to elect me. I repeat
Okay.
that, these communities that are going to elect me, so they can feel comfortable too to bring those concerns to me. Relationship is everything, and I will continue to build, that relationship. And I won't get it right. I won't be perfect at it. I'm asking for some grace, but I will always humbly come back.
Most people sometimes don't know what the power in local government, right? I say you guys on city council, if you are down there, I refer to you guys, right? You guys are the one that determine our property taxes, our utility bills. But for folks that really don't know much about local government, especially like a city council and things like that, what will you tell them the importance of local government?
The importance is for you to know who your councilman is, because you don't have to know everything, but at
Mm-mm,
least you have a point of contact to find answers. Um, they are the one that are making decisions about the city you live in,
mm,
businesses that are coming, the infrastructure of your city, parks, the different committees. I happen to be on the human right committee, and we were having a lot of, at one point we had a lot of conversations around what does Brooklyn Park law enforcement collaboration is or isn't with ICE, or what would that look like? So those are conversations that are being held. Um, and I'm happy Chief Bruley was able to kind of meet with different podcast folks and kind of share that himself. But important decisions are being made about how your tax money is being allocated,
mm.
and you want to be a part of that. Your children's schools, you want to be a part of, the decision, the resources, what's available, and that's another area that's important to be tapped into, because the needs of our children, that early intervention, and things like that. So at least know, it's important for you to at least know who your council person is. And
Okay.
once you do and you have that question, you can always go to them for direction on how to engage on, or what next step will look like for whatever your concerns are, or how to even go about sharing what those concerns are, because that's the gateway to, to anything you might need in your city.
Okay. For if you are elected to the city council, what do you hope to be your legacy?
When I am elected, I don't want to say if, when, because I'm speaking it into power. I will be the first black woman on the council, and I want to leave something that other young
Go
I
ahead. Go ahead.
want to be I want to leave something that other young people will see and say, I can do that. I want to be that inspiration that will open doors to young women, and I say young women,
Mm,
to immigrant women, to youth, to young white women, to young Hispanic women, to all young women, that they too can do this. What might seem untouchable actually is touchable. Throw yourself out there. And I'm notorious for that. I'm notorious for throwing myself out there, and whatever the outcome is, we will handle it when we get there, right? We'll figure it out. There's always a way. You won't get lost, right? But I
okay.
want people to see me as that role model that 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 took a step and stepped up and did it for the community, and doing it with the community, and making decisions that are going to pave the way for all people, and make Brooklyn Park a better place and a great place for people to continue to live and to continue to thrive.
That's great. That's great. Well, this is a 1 hour show. You've been providing some great information. I mean, it's like your campaigns is exciting. Hopefully, hope you can go the long way. But now we're about to do some rapid fire. Okay, let's see how you do it before we wrap this up. Are you a morning person or night person? Morning or night?
Oh, I think I'm a night. I'm a
Okay,
night.
okay, night. Favorite favorite restaurant, either in the northern suburb in Brooklyn Park or in Minnesota. Favorite restaurant
Ooh, favorite restaurant. I've had Nadia's Kitchen. It's a Okay, let me say this. I love all food. I really, really love food, right? But I don't want to get in trouble. I love food, but I eat Liberian food all the time. I love Jamaican food. But Nadia's Kitchen,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now, first of all, and just in line to that, what's your favorite Kobo shop in Broken Park?
When you talking garage or someone apartment?
Anywhere. What's your favorite Kobo shop? Who can face maybe the best driver, the best day, the best your favorite Kobo
Ah,
shop?
where do I go for dry rice?
Okay.
Jeez. There's so many of them. I don't want to get in
Okay.
trouble.
Okay. Anyway, what song that always puts you in a good mood? When you know what I mean? You're a social worker, you deal with so many people. What's the one song that you say, you know what, to get your mind off whatever, you know?
Jeez. I don't honestly, I'm not a TV person, and I'm terrible with music, but
Okay.
a good
Okay.
beat
That's
would
fine.
be your African beat, you
Okay.
know?
Okay. Okay. That's
Yes.
that's fine. That's fine. Who inspire you right now in politics? Who's the one person that inspire you the most right now in politics?
Hmm. Who, I'll say this. Who inspired me in politics locally?
Right now, yeah, anybody.
Yeah,
Anybody.
and I'm gonna go local because
Mm-hmm.
she's similar to me. There's
Mm-hmm.
this young girl in the council called Amanda Jean,
Mm.
and she took a step.
Okay.
And I admire her boldness. She's 22 years old. She's the
Oh, oh,
first and the youngest on the city council in Brooklyn Park.
wow,
And
okay.
when she took that step, it's just been empowering for like young people to see. And
Mm-hmm.
seeing that, I have to give it up to her.
Okay,
I
okay.
have to give it up to her.
Okay. Favorite quote or words that you live by? Favorite quote or words that you live by?
Um, uh, Something I'm thinking of right now is, what have you done for others lately?
That's good. That's a
you
good
know.
one. That's a good one. That's a good one. What's the one thing, people would be surprised to learn about Bernice Cooper?
uh, one thing to be surprised to learn is that, I'm actually a baller. I'm a very good basketball player. Yeah. I used to be a point
Oh,
guard back
oh,
home. I
okay,
went to the YMCA. I used
okay,
to play at sports commissions.
okay,
I played for Ginger for a little bit.
okay.
And then there a
What
little
position?
bit
What position do you play? What
point
position?
guard. Point
Oh, point
guard.
down. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's a
Y'all
good
don't
one.
call me now to challenge me, but yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
secret.
Okay. Well, if you could change one thing about Broken Park tomorrow, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about Brooklyn Park, what would it be? I would change um how I would love to see everyone just prioritize civic engagement.
Civic engagement. Okay, that's a good
You
one. That's
know,
a good.
I
Mhm.
would want to see that become a priority for all people just because
Okay,
it's important and it's
okay.
direct.
Favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Um, I take some time alone when when I feel like I need it. Sometimes I just be home,
No,
maybe get a
no.
wine here and there,
Okay, that's what I was saying. A glass of wine. Okay, okay.
a little wine here and
Lastly,
there
lastly, lastly, then finish this sentence. Leadership is
about the people.
other people. Wow, that's powerful. Well, Bernice, man, it's been great having you on here tonight. Thanks so much for accepting our invitation. This is a 1 hour show. You have done well. I mean, it's like keeping you for 1 hour. You have provided some great information. But consider this your home. We are here to promote folks like you. The fact that we are very proud that you could put your hat in the ring and stuff like that, right? To battle Broken Park. Every Liberian that knows, right, is the capital city of Liberia in the diaspora. So thanks for putting taking on the challenge, but thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's been great. Your last message to the folks that have been listening to you for the last 1 hour. What's the message you want to leave with folks tonight?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. We're all family here. We need to get that seat. We love that seat. We want that seat. We want someone that understands this process, understand us who's doing the work, have done the work to be in that seat. So I'm asking you to please support, support us, support me as I step up for this. I'm doing it for the community. I'm doing it for all Brooklyn Park residents. I'm doing it for West District. So I'm looking forward to meeting some of you, collaborating with some of you, hearing from some of you. Thank you so much for your time. Let's go to caucus February 3rd. So we'll be reaching out to you. I can leave you with my phone number.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Call me. My phone number is 651-621-0636. Call me. Let's collaborate. Let's figure out caucus together. Let's get that endorsement, and then let's get representation. For all people, to make Brooklyn Park a better, a safe, a beautiful place to live and raise our children, to work, and what have you. So thank you very much, and you all have a great night.
Well, folks, that's
Thank
it
you.
right there. You heard it from Miss Cooper herself, and you all have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night, folks.